A house in Thomasville, Georgia, changed hands earlier this year for $4,000. Not $40,000, $4,000. Metal roof, masonry foundation, hardwood floors, a fireplace, and according to the county record, no heat and not one listed bedroom. That house is number 1. 11 more sit in front of it. 12 Georgia properties, real tax bills, real rehab math, real county income numbers, and the one thing on each listing that most buyers walk straight past. Some of these work. Some of them are traps wearing a cheap price tag. I will tell you which is which. One thing before the first house, not every number here is an asking price. Some are the last recorded sale, some are an automated estimate on a property with almost no price history. I will tell you which every time, because that distinction is where people lose money. Every property here was confirmed active on Zillow the day this was built. Real estate moves. The framework does not. Subscribe if you want the rest of this series. House 12, $57,750 in Cordell, Georgia. 624 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, built in 1950. Heat pump, central air, metal roof, vinyl siding.
On paper, this is the cleanest small property on the list. It is also already rented. That is where the lesson starts. Zillow puts the rent estimate at $854 a month. The actual contract rent on this house right now is $525. That is a gap of nearly $4,000 a year. If you underwrite this deal off the Zillow number, you have overpaid before you signed anything. That gap is not unusual. Automated rent estimates read the neighborhood. They do not read the lease. Ask for the lease, the payment ledger, the deposit record, and a tenant estoppel letter. If the seller will not produce them, that tells you something too. The taxes are the best part of this deal. $162 for the year, $13.50 a month. You could hold this house almost indefinitely on that number. The rehab screen lands at $14,000 to $29,000, light to moderate, crawl space, 1950 bones, and no appliances included, so budget for those. Crisp County median household income is $33,800, one of the lowest on this list. That caps what any tenant can pay, and it is the real reason that $525 rent exists. That is the entry point. Now watch what happens when the paperwork stops matching the house. 2956 Mercer University Drive, Macon, Georgia. 984 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, hardwood floors, forced air heat, central air, and full appliances. $68,500 is not an asking price. It is an automated estimate.
This house sold for $17,000 in 2021 and $34,500 in 2023. It has been listed for rent 3 times since, most recently at $850 a month. That listing came down in June. An investor bought low, put money in, and has been renting it out, and the money going in is documented. There is a 2023 Macon Bib permit record referencing a re-roof in remodel. New windows, new doors, drywall, insulation, and an added bathroom. That last item is the problem. Zillow still shows 1 bathroom. The permit says a bathroom was added. Those 2 facts cannot both be current. Before you offer, pull the permit file and confirm the final inspection was signed off. Unpermitted bathroom work surfaces at appraisal, at insurance underwriting, or at resale. Always at the worst moment. Taxes are $722 a year, $60 a month. The county assessment field reads $74,390, which is above the estimate itself. The rehab scream is $16,000 to $32,000. and most of that is verification reserve rather than known work. Macon-Bibb median household income is $51,234. There is real rental depth here. Atrium Health Navicent, Mercer University, and Middle Georgia State University all anchor this market. Employment did contract 1.4% over the last year, so call it stable, not growing. 2 houses in, and the pattern is already visible.
The listing is the advertisement. The paperwork is the property. 1055 43rd Street, Columbus, Georgia. $70,000, and this one is a live asking price. 768 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, built in 1956. Fenced yard, gas forced air heat, central electric cooling, carpet throughout. Read the timeline. The timeline is the whole story. Listed in March of 2026 at $85,000, cut to $70,000 in May, went pending in July, relisted at the end of July. A property that goes under contract and comes back out is telling you something. Maybe the financing collapsed, maybe the appraisal came in low, maybe the inspection found something the buyer would not accept. You do not know which, and the seller does not have to volunteer it. So ask. Ask directly whether there was an inspection during that pending window, and ask what it found. A Georgia seller does not have to hand over a prior buyer's report, but the question produces an answer either way, and a refusal is an answer. The rehab screen is $31,000 to $53,000, moderate band. That is carpet over an unknown subfloor, a crawl space, and a 1956 mechanical picture, and no roof detail listed. Taxes are $916 a year, $76 a month. They have climbed from $662 in 2022. That is a 38% increase in 2 years on a house that has not changed hands since 2007. Columbus is the strongest market here. 203,000 people. Median household income, $58,073. Fort Benning, Piedmont Columbus Regional, Columbus State University, and the Aflac and TSYS financial base. Good market. Real questions. Get the answers before you get the keys. 2824 Walmart Drive, Macon, Georgia. $65,000. Live asking price, listed in June of 2026. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1,178 square feet, built in 1963. Attached carport, porch, public water and sewer. The rental history here is unusually useful. $810 in early 2023, $900 in March of 2026. That is real rent, actually achieved, climbing steadily. It sits well below Zillow's estimate of $1,030. Now the hidden item. There is a bonus room on the back of this house. It holds the laundry and the water heater. The mini-split system that heats and cools the rest of the house does not serve that room. An unconditioned addition is often one built without a permit or to a lesser standard. It may or may not be counted in the official square footage. If it is counted and was never permitted, your appraisal can come back short, and an insurer can decline coverage on that portion. Pull the county permit history. Compare the assessor's recorded square footage against the listing. If those two disagree, you have found your negotiating leverage. Taxes are $486 a year, $40 a month. This household for $4,000 in 2016. Rehab screen is $41,000 to $75,000, moderate, and that addition is why the top of the range sits where it does. Macon rental demand is real. Just make sure you are buying the square footage you think you are buying. 824 White Street, Griffin, Georgia. $69,000, and the price history on this one is remarkable.
listed in October of 2024 at $145,000. Pulled in May of 2025 at $125,000. Relisted in June of 2026 at $98,000. Cut to $88,000 in July. Cut again to $69,000 on the 1st of August. That is a 52% reduction from the original number, and the last two cuts came 4 days apart. A seller moving that fast has a reason. What you get is 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 784 square feet, built in 1960. Updated kitchen, stainless appliances, laminate flooring, fresh paint, bonus room, covered porch, central heat and air, and nearly half an acre, which for a house this size is a large lot. The listing suggests part of that lot may be a second buildable lot. Treat that as unverified. A second lot claim needs a survey, a written zoning determination, confirmed utilities, and legal access. Any one of those failing kills it. If it holds, it is the most valuable sentence on the page. If not, you paid for a yard. Sold as is. The rehab screen is $9,000 to $22,000, the lowest genuine repair number here because the cosmetics are already done. Keep a reserve for the crawl space. Taxes are $887, $74 a month. Spalding County median household income is $43,632 with Southern Crescent Technical College and the University of Georgia Griffin campus anchoring the local economy. 1 bedroom limits your tenant pool. That is the honest constraint. But at this price, on this lot, with this cut history, there's a real conversation to be had. Halfway, I still owe you the $4,000 house in Thomasville. 1916, metal roof over a masonry foundation, hardwood floors and a fireplace, no heat and no listed bedroom. That is coming, but the next 5 get stranger, and one of them costs $8,760 a year before you turn on a light. 2906 Peabody Avenue, Columbus, Georgia. 1,499 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath.
A 1932 bungalow on a fenced level yard with an outbuilding. $62,500, and again, that is an estimate, not an ask. This house last sold in January of 2011 for $30,500. There has been no price activity in 15 years. 15 years of silence means the estimate is generated off neighborhood comparables, not off this house. Heating is listed as other. Cooling is listed as other. That is the record telling you those fields were never filled in. Here is the number that should stop you. The property tax is $1,118 a year, $93 a month. That is the highest tax bill on this entire list on a house with an estimated value in the low 60s. Both other Columbus properties pay less. Rehab screen is $81,000 to $144,000, moderate to heavy. That range exceeds the estimated value of the house, and that is not an error in the math. 1,500 square feet of 1932 construction with no documented mechanical systems is a genuine unknown. The bungalow footprint is real value if the bones are good. 3 bedrooms, rents, but you do not buy this one off a screen. You buy it after somebody with a flashlight has been under it. 336 Lilac Road, Fitzgerald, Georgia. 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,310 square feet on 0.42 acres. Built in 1983. Stone and brick exterior, hardwood floors, central cooling. 1983 is the newest construction on this list by 11 years.
Post-1978 means no lead paint concern, modern framing and electrical standards, 2 full bathrooms, which almost nothing else here has. On specifications alone, this is the lowest risk house in the lineup. Then you look for the price, and there is not one.
Zillow shows no price history on this property, none at all. The estimate reads $118,100. The county tax assessment field reads $37,141. Those two numbers describe different universes. An automated estimate with no price history behind it is a guess wearing a number. It is pulling county comparables and applying them to a house it has never watched transact. Do not anchor to it in either direction. The real price is whatever the seller says it is, and the only way to learn that is to ask. There is one more trap here. A second Zillow record exists at this same street address for a separate small parcel. Confirm you are looking at parcel 812125. Buying the wrong record at a shared address happens more than you would think. Taxes are $759, $63 a month. Ben Hill County median household income is $37,323 with a poverty rate of 27.8%. Employment grew 5.2% last year, the second strongest growth figure of the 12. Best house here, worst price information here. Go find out which one wins. That was a house with no price. This next one has a price, and the price is not the problem. 140 Mount Zion Road Southeast, Unit 41, Atlanta, Georgia. $69,000. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 800 square feet, built in 1972. Remodeled, granite counters, laminate floors, central heat and air, gated with assigned parking. $69,000 inside the city of Atlanta, 10 minutes from Hartsfield-Jackson. The Zillow rent estimate is $1,376 a month, the highest of the 12. On the surface, that is a 24% gross yield, the best deal here by a wide margin. Here's what the surface does not show you. This is not a condominium. It is a cooperative. You are not buying real property. You are buying shares in a corporation that owns the building, and those shares carry the right to occupy a unit. That distinction changes everything. The monthly carrying charge is $730, $8,760 a year. It covers heating and air, the water heater, the roof and exterior, taxes, insurance, water, trash, sewer, and grounds. Broad coverage. It is also more than half your gross rent every month, permanently, and it can be raised by a vote you do not control. Now run the real number. $16,512 a year in gross rent.
Subtract vacancy, management, maintenance, and that carrying charge, and the net proxy lands near $3,100. A 4.5% cap rate, the worst return in this entire lineup, on the property with the highest rent. And the listing terms are cash or private financing because most conventional lenders will not write a mortgage against a co-op share. Before you go near this, demand the bylaws, the financials, the reserve study, the share transfer process, and the rental restrictions. Many cooperatives prohibit renting outright. If this one does, the entire thesis disappears. Highest rent on the list, worst deal on the list. That is what hidden math does to a good-looking number. That was expensive, dressed as cheap. The next 3 are cheap, dressed as cheap. And they are harder. 1714 Walker Street, Augusta, Georgia. $45,000, which is the last observed listing price. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 856 square feet on a small lot. Built in 1901. Wood exterior, metal roof, fireplace. Sold as is. 1901. 125 years old, with 3 bedrooms compressed into 856 square feet. Those rooms are small. The price walked down hard. $65,000 in September of 2025, $50,000 in November, $45,000 in February. A 31% cut in 5 months. Now here is the line in the old listing that matters most. It referenced $300 a month in rental income and a possible portfolio sale. $300 a month in Augusta is not market rent. It is either a legacy tenant, a family arrangement, or a unit that could not command more because of its condition. Zillow's rent estimate says $1,159. The documented number was $300. Believe the documented number until somebody proves otherwise with a signed lease. One more tell. The Zillow cooling field on this listing reads refrigerator. That is a data entry error, and it suggests the record is unreliable throughout. Rehab screen is $77,000 to $134,000. Gut range, up to 3 times the asking price. Taxes are $988 a year, $82 a month. Richmond County median household income is $55,637, with Augusta University, the medical district, and the Fort Gordon region anchoring real employment. The market here supports a renovated house. The question is whether you survive the renovation. 1114 Stevens Street, Sopperton, Georgia. 936 square feet on 0.38 acres, built in 1930. Wood exterior, asphalt roof, masonry foundation, hardwood floors, and a fireplace. $25,000. That is a recorded sale from April of 2025, not a current ask. 2 fields on this record are blank, and both of them are the ones that decide everything. Bedrooms? Not shown. Heating? None. A blank bedroom count is rarely a bookkeeping oversight.
It usually means the rooms do not meet the legal definition of a bedroom, which in most Georgia jurisdictions requires minimum dimensions, a window meeting egress size, and a code-compliant permanent heat source. This house has no heat, which means until somebody installs a permanent heating system, you may not legally have a bedroom in it at all. Zillow still estimates $989 a month in rent. That number is meaningless here. You cannot rent an uninhabitable structure, and habitability in Georgia includes heat. Rehab screen is $84,000 to $140,000. Full gut range, between 3 and 6 times the last recorded sale price. Taxes are $211 a year, $17.58 a month. The assessment field reads $6,800, which is the county quietly agreeing this is not currently a functioning house. Sopperton sits in Trutland County, population 2,908, median household income $33,146. Employment grew 14.2% last year, which sounds dramatic until you remember the entire employed population is 976 people. This is a land and shell purchase. Price it that way and it makes sense. Price it as a house and it does not. 1043 Flint Street Northeast, Dawson, Georgia. $63,500. Live asking price. Cut from $68,500 in July. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,428 square feet on 1 full acre. Brick, built in 1950. 1-car carport, public water and sewer. On raw specifications, this is the best house on the list. 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, brick, 1,400 square feet, a full acre, for $63,500. The listing calls it a fixer and an investor opportunity. That is the seller telling you the truth up front. The heating field is blank. Cooling shows ceiling fans only. Roof, flooring, and foundation are all unlisted. On a 1950 house, blank mechanical fields are not neutral information. They mean nobody documented a working system. Rehab screen is $103,000 to $171,000. That is the largest repair number here, and it runs between 1.6 and 2.7 times the purchase price. Now the part that decides it. Dawson sits in Terrell County, population 4,247. Median household income $28,533, the lowest here by a wide margin. The poverty rate is 53.8%, more than half the population. That is your ceiling. The rent screen of $1,220 is a county median for 3-bedroom units, not an appraisal on this house. In a market where the median household earns $28,000, that rent would consume more than half of a household's gross income. That rent will be very hard to achieve. Beautiful specs, brutal market. This is the clearest example of why the house is never the whole deal.
1202 Wright Street, Thomasville, Georgia. $4,000. That is a recorded transfer from March of 2026. Public record. A price that low usually means one of a few things: a family transfer, an estate settlement, a tax or foreclosure sale, or a structure the market has written off. It is not a retail price, and you should not expect to pay it. Here is what is actually there. 900 square feet, 1 bathroom, built in 1916, metal roof, masonry foundation, hardwood floors, a fireplace, and a detached garage on 1/8 of an acre. A metal roof and a masonry foundation on a 110-year-old house is a genuinely strong starting point. Those are two of the most expensive things to replace, and both are the durable versions. Now the two blanks. Heating, none. Bedrooms, not shown. Same problem as Sopperton, and worse because this structure is 14 years older. No documented heat, no documented bedroom count, and a 1916 build. Until an inspector and the county both say otherwise, treat this as a shell with a very good roof. The rehab screen is $81,000 to $135,000. Gut band, 20 to 34 times the recorded transfer price. Taxes are $276 a year, $23 a month. And here is why this is still the most interesting property here. Thomasville is not dying. 18,666 people. Median household income, $49,673. Employment grew 2.5% last year. The average commute is 16.3 minutes. It has a restored historic downtown, Thomas University, Southern Regional Technical College, a real regional healthcare base, and Pebble Hill Plantation drawing visitors. That is a market with money in it. And sitting inside that market is a 1916 house with a metal roof and a masonry foundation that the public record valued at $4,000. That is not a bargain. That is a question, and the answer costs $80,000 to $135,000 to find. But if the structure holds, a restored historic home in a town like Thomasville is worth considerably more than that arithmetic. That is the entire thesis here. It is the only property on this list where the real asset is the town, not the house. 12 properties, 1 state, and a pattern that never changes. Not one of these houses is expensive. Several are unaffordable anyway, because the repair number, the carrying charge, or the local income ceiling kills the deal no matter how low the sticker reads. The cheapest house here needs the most work. The best built house here sits in the poorest county. The highest rent here produces the worst return.